It started as an ordinary congressional hearing, but by the time it ended, every eye in the room was wide, every microphone was buzzing, and millions across America were replaying the fiery exchange that no one saw coming. Representative Jasmine Crockett, known for her sharp wit and fearless commentary, went head-to-head with Senator John Kennedy, a man equally famous for his Southern charm and razor-edged comebacks. What followed was not just a political clash, it was an unforgettable moment of raw emotion, pride, and revelation that left the entire chamber stunned. The tension began brewing long before either of them spoke. The air in the committee room was thick with unspoken challenge, yet two personalities from opposite ends of the political spectrum sitting under the same roof, both ready to defend their values before the American public. Crockett, with her signature confidence, leaned into the microphone, eyes blazing with conviction. She launched into a passionate critique of what she described as the growing hypocrisy in government oversight, her words sharp enough to slice through the air. Her voice rose with every sentence, filled with the frustration and pain of millions who feel unheard and overlooked. Senator Kennedy, sitting calmly just a few feet away, listened in silence. His hands were folded, his expression unreadable, the slight tilt of his head giving away only the faintest trace of amusement. Crockett's words were fierce as she accused his party of turning its back on fairness, of using policy as a weapon instead of a tool for progress. Every jab was personal, every point deliberate. It wasn't just politics, it was passion. But when she finally paused, breathing hard, Kennedy slowly leaned forward. His calmness contrasted sharply with the fiery energy in the room. "Congresswoman," he began in that unmistakable Louisiana drawl, his tone gentle but edged with steel, "I do appreciate your enthusiasm. But where I come from, we say you can't fix a problem by shouting at it, you've got to understand it first." The room fell silent. What followed was one of the most composed yet devastating rebuttals in recent political memory. Kennedy didn't raise his voice, he didn't insult or interrupt. Instead, he methodically unpacked Crockett's arguments, one by one, turning each accusation into a lesson, each insult into a teachable moment. He spoke of leadership, of humility, and of the power of listening. His words carried a calm confidence, but beneath that composure was a force that could not be ignored. Crockett, who had entered the debate in full control, suddenly found herself searching for her words. The cameras zoomed in on her expression, a defiant yet shaken. Kennedy's clapback wasn't loud or cruel, it was something more powerful. It was clarity delivered with kindness and authority. And then came the moment that broke through the political theater and revealed the humanity beneath. Kennedy paused, glanced at her, and said softly, "We may not see eye to eye, but I believe we both love this country enough to fight for it. The question is, are we fighting each other, or are we fighting for the people who sent us here?" The chamber went silent again, but this time, it was different. The anger had shifted to reflection. Even Crockett seemed momentarily moved. Her eyes lowered, and a hint of humility crossed her face. She nodded slightly before responding, her tone calmer, more measured. "Senator," she said, "I'll give you that. Maybe we both want the same thing, we just see different roads to get there." The tension dissolved into something deeper, respect. Applause broke out in the back of the room, hesitant at first, then growing louder. The moment had transformed from a heated argument into an unexpected bridge between two worlds. Within hours, clips of the exchange flooded social media. Some called it a political masterclass, others called it the moment of much-needed honesty in Washington. Hashtags like #Kennedy Clapback and #Crockett vs. Kennedy trended for days. But amid the noise, many viewers pointed out something remarkable. For once, both sides had walked away not as enemies, but as people reminded of why they entered public service in the first place. In a world where debates often end in bitterness, this one ended in reflection. It wasn't about who won or lost, it was about what was learned. Crockett's passion met Kennedy's poise, and together they delivered a message America desperately needed to hear. The real strength in leadership isn't found in silencing your opponent, but in finding the courage to listen, respond, and grow. By the time the hearing ended, Crockett wasn't speechless out of defeat as she was silent out of realization. And Kennedy? He didn't gloat or grin. He simply nodded, stood up, and walked out of the chamber with the quiet dignity of a man who had just reminded a nation that respect still has a place in politics. That day, the headlines screamed of confrontation, but those who truly listened heard something else: hope.